500 years ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote down the most dangerous truths about human nature ever exposed. So dangerous the Catholic Church banned his book. So powerful that kings and generals studied it in secret while publicly condemning it. Why? Because Machiavelli didn't write fantasy. He wrote the operating manual for the human animal. Not how we should behave, but how we do. The games we play, the masks we wear, the real levers of power. Here's what should make you uneasy. The people who understand this are already using it. In boardrooms, in bedrooms, in politics, in war. They're playing chess. While most are still learning the rules of checkers, ask yourself, why didn't your parents teach you this? Why didn't school? Because they didn't know. And because society tells you that seeing reality is cruel, that using strategy makes you manipulative, that understanding power makes you evil. But the truth? Ignorance isn't noble, it's weakness. And weakness gets eaten. From this moment forward, I'm going to make you strong. I'm going to make you untouchable. Once you see what Machiavelli saw, you'll never look at human behavior the same way again. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in, because what comes next rewires everything. Today, I'll show you how to use those same forbidden tactics.
Not to dominate others, but to master yourself.
Niccolo Machiavelli
because the greatest conquest isn't a city or a throne, it's your own mind. What if I told you that you can end the chaos? That by mastering your inner world, you become untouchable, free, and in total command of your life.
Because Machiavelli
This is the
didn't write
ancient
fantasy.
Stoic way,
He wrote the
sharpened
operating
by
manual for the human
Machiavellian
animal.
insight.
Not how
A
we should
ruthless,
behave,
calm
but how we
strategy
do.
of inner sovereignty.
The games we play.
In the next
the
half hour,
masks we
you will
wear,
uncover the hidden
real
framework
levers of power.
to become mentally invincible.
Here's what should make you uneasy.
You will learn how to seize
People who
control of
understand
every
this
moment,
are already using
how to
it.
remain calm
In
when everyone
boardrooms,
else panics,
in bedrooms,
and how to
in
turn
politics,
your weaknesses into your
in war.
greatest strengths.
They're playing chess.
Before we
While
dive
most
into
are
these
still
secrets,
learning the rules of
say
checkers,
it with me,
ask yourself,
then drop
why
it in
didn't
the
your parents
comments
teach
to
you this?
cement it.
Why didn't school?
I
Because
command
they
my
didn't
mind.
know.
I
And
shape
because society
my
tells
destiny.
you that seeing reality is
From this
cruel,
moment on, commit.
that using
You are
strategy
done
makes you
giving away your
manipulative,
power.
that
No more
understanding
letting outside
power
events
makes you
control
evil.
your inner world.
But the truth,
As Machiavelli would say,
ignorance isn't
fortune may be
noble,
wild,
it's weakness.
but the wise man
And
builds his
weakness gets
defenses in advance.
from this moment
You
forward,
are the ruler here.
I'm going to make you strong.
Let's begin.
I'm going to make you
1.
untouchable.
Rule your mind.
Once you see what
Look
Machiavelli
around.
saw,
People are
you'll
fighting a
never
battle
look at
on the
human
wrong
behavior
front.
the same
They
way
rail
again.
against traffic,
So hit
shout
that
at strangers
like button,
online,
subscribe,
or brood
and
over an
stay
insult.
locked in.
They see
Because
their
what comes
problems
next
as external.
rewires everything.
But the Stoic and
Today,
Machiavellian
I'll
truth
show you how
is
to
the
use
opposite.
those same
The
forbidden
real
tactics.
battlefield is within you. Your mind is the only territory you truly command. Everything else, jobs, relationships, fame, luck, is uncertain and out of your immediate control. The only thing you can steer is your own thoughts and actions. Imagine a general who surrenders control of his army to the enemy. Sound crazy? Yet too many people let external forces pull the strings of their emotions and beliefs. A notification pops up on your phone, and before you know it, anxiety spikes. Someone criticizes you, and instantly you feel wounded. You think, why am I even alive? How could I be so stupid? Those are not your thoughts. They are invaders wearing the uniform of other people's opinions and your own fears. Marcus Aurelius taught us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Once you truly grasp this, you become dangerous in the best way. Because no longer are you a victim to the chaos outside. You consciously choose where to place your attention. When a negative thought or doubt crops up, I'm not good enough, or they don't respect me, treat it like an enemy spy. Question it. Is this thought mine, or is it someone else's whisper? Does it move me forward or trip me up? If it weakens you, discard it. replace it with a commanding truth. For example, when you catch yourself thinking, "I must have approval to be happy," counter with, "I am already complete. Approval is a bonus, not a necessity." This is mental governance. You are training yourself to be the one giving orders, not the one being pulled by impulses. Two people suffer the same setback. One says, "I'm ruined." The other says, "This is a lesson. What's my next move?" Only the second holds true power. You decide the meaning of every event in your life. You become proactive. Instead of allowing a rude comment or a traffic jam to hijack your day, you set your own mood and outcome. Stay vigilant, soldier. If you don't occupy your mind with your own mission, it will fill itself with the schemes of others. Guard your inner citadel with ferocity. Never forget, you are the ruler of this domain. Claim your throne now. 2. The Stoic Edge. The foundation of Stoic power is knowing what you can change and what you cannot. In every stressful situation, ask, what am I in control of right now? You can't control the weather, other people's choices, or market crashes. You can control your reaction, your next step, and your attitude. This is your sphere of influence. Anchor yourself to it and let the rest wash away. Think about that annoying coworker who always undercuts you. You can't change their personality overnight, but you can control how you respond. Instead of stewing in anger or despair, you might focus on improving your own skills, documenting your work, or calmly setting boundaries. One step at a time, you shift the power back to yourself. This mindset also means reframing everything as neutral data. In the Stoic Journal of Life, events are like raw facts, and you are the author writing their meaning. Did you miss a promotion? Instead of despair, you might write, "Not now. This teaches me patience and where to improve." Are you betrayed by a friend? You might write, "A lesson learned. I now see who is worthy of trust." You decide the narrative. Picture two climbers. One fixates on the howling wind, which he can't stop, and slips on a rock. The other acknowledges the wind, but focuses on the next handhold she can secure. Who reaches the summit? The climber who focuses on controllables, because she remains moving forward. By recognizing the dichotomy of control, you fold fear and anxiety into your pocket. They have no fuel. You move with clarity because your actions are rooted in reality and purpose. Every Stoic exercise, from morning planning to gratitude journaling, reinforces this principle. You see challenges as fuel, not fate. Stay locked in on your battle plans, Commander. External chaos fades when you solve the problems you truly can. 3. Master your emotions. Emotions are powerful, like a wild horse. If left untamed, they can throw you and trample reason. But if harnessed, they carry you forward at incredible speed. We're not talking about shutting down feelings. Stoicism doesn't mean being a stone. It means becoming an alchemist of emotion, feeling fully but using it strategically. Think about it. When anger surges, most people lash out and regret it. When fear grips them, they flee or freeze. When excitement peaks, they might rush decisions without thought. The mastered person does something different. They notice the emotion as it rises. They pause. There is a gap between stimulus and response, and in that gap lies your power. Breathe. Ask yourself, if I give in to this feeling, who benefits? Am I choosing this, or is this feeling choosing me? Visualize your emotion as a storm cloud passing. The sky, your consciousness, remains clear above. This view, advocated by Epictetus, lets you see emotions as signals, not orders. Anger might tell you a boundary was crossed. Fear might show where you care deeply. Sadness might reveal what truly matters. You harvest that insight instead of being led by it. Machiavelli noted that if an opponent tries to provoke you and you don't rise to the bait, you gain a huge advantage. When they expect a reaction and you stay calm, their frustration becomes their weakness. They grab at shadows, revealing their true intentions. You, meanwhile, stay 5 steps ahead. For example, someone might publicly insult you to get under your skin. A normal reaction is to snap back or feel wounded. A mastered response could be a calm smile or a brief, "Thank you for your perspective," then silence. You don't give them material to use against you. Internally, you might feel the sting. That's fine. Use it like coal in the forge, fuel for your focus. Later, you might convert that energy into working harder, proving them wrong by succeeding beyond their expectations. Remember, your emotions exist to serve you, not the other way around. Use anger as fuel for achievement, not revenge. Let fear sharpen your preparation, not force surrender. Pain can remind you of what you value and push you to protect it, instead of paralyzing you. You're a martial artist of the mind, redirecting force rather than collapsing under it. When others are melting down in stress, maintain ice-cold composure. Let them show their hand while you hold yours. This doesn't make you heartless, it makes you strong. In fact, they may label you cold or robotic because they can't read your calm face. But you know the truth. You simply feel everything and move on. If you are ready to own your feelings and use them as strength, hit that like button now. Show that you choose mastery over mayhem. 4. Speak only with purpose. In a world drowning in noise, endless tweets, oversharing, loud opinions, silence is your hidden sword. Most people cannot stand silence. They fill it with chatter, with apologies, with blurting secrets. But when you embrace silence, you stand out. You become the quiet threat in the room. Think of a predator in the wild, utterly still, watching. The prey around it jitters and leaps at every noise, ultimately making a mistake. A true predator waits in silent confidence. You can be like that. Your silence is not weakness, it's power. Every word you do speak will cut through the chaos like a laser, because you've waited and sharpened it. People will lean in when you speak, because they know every sentence matters. Here's a simple truth Machiavelli understood. He who explains himself prepares a defense. If you feel the urge to justify or argue, pause. Answering accusations or gossip by over-explaining only makes you look guilty or insecure. Instead, lift an eyebrow, maybe offer a knowing smile, and silence. Watch as your accuser gets more agitated, filling the vacuum with frustration. Suddenly, they are the one trying to justify themselves. The room shifts. Everyone senses your calm. Silence also lets you collect vital intel. When others are talking, you can observe body language, catch slips of truth, gauge intent. Every pause they take, every nervous laugh, that's your data. Then, when you do speak, you do so from informed strength. In conversation, practice the art of the pause. If someone presses you, take a breath before you answer. The unexpected quiet will often make them fill in information you want. In negotiation, you can literally win by staying silent after you make your point. The other side will squirm and offer better terms just to fill the air. It's human nature. Silence is disconcerting. People expect noise. When you break that expectation, you hold them with your presence. They may think, what is he thinking? What's he going to do? They fill in the blanks, and more often than not, they talk themselves into worse positions. So use silence. Don't fear gaps in conversation. Let people exhaust themselves with words. Let their assumptions about you swirl in the void. At the precise moment of impact, speak concisely and confidently. When you move and talk sparingly, they see you as a heavyweight. You saved your voice for the real punches. Noise is disposable, but silence hangs heavy in the room. Cultivate that heavy presence. It'll unsettle the boldest challenges. 5. Turn adversity into advantage. Life will hurt you. This is a guarantee. Everyone you meet is, at best, a silver sword and often a double-edged dagger. Friends change loyalties when convenient. Plans disintegrate in an instant. Fortune is a wild beast, granting and snatching away on a whim. If you expect life to be fair or easy, you invite misery. The masters of power laugh at comfort. They expect betrayal and hardship as naturally as taxes. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios each morning, not to be cynical, but to steel themselves against surprise. Machiavelli bluntly noted, "A promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." In other words, trust is earned anew each day. Don't count on anyone's mercy or constancy. When adversity strikes, the masses often ask, "Why me?" The answer is, "Why not you?" The master asks instead, "How will I use this?" This question converts pain into fuel. Imagine your troubles as raw ore. Stay still in the fire of trial. Hammer away with determination, and the ore becomes a sword. For example, if a friendship ends badly, you can either spiral into bitterness or learn a lesson. You might become cold and distrustful, the easy, common path. Or you might accept what it is, a revelation of true character. Then you calmly cut that rope and keep moving. You use the experience to pick better allies and cherish the value of loyalty more deeply. Betrayal becomes your teacher, not your tormentor. If you lose a job or a business fails, don't waste time mourning what's gone. Analyze what happened, mark the weak points in your strategy, and start forging a new plan. Every setback is a blueprint telling you what not to do next time. The master reads that blueprint. Remember Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the worst of concentration camps. He found meaning in his suffering and later became an inspiration. Or think of great entrepreneurs. How many of them went bankrupt before they made it? Elon Musk nearly lost everything multiple times, but he used each near failure as a lesson and keep pushing forward. Building resilience is itself a power. Imagine facing the same crisis twice, once as a beginner and once as someone who already survived it before. The second time, it barely shakes you. Your core becomes unbreakable steel, not brittle porcelain. Others sense this. When they see that you don't crumble under pressure, they begin to respect or fear you. So when the heat is on, remind yourself, I turn pain into power. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I turn pain into power. Read those words and let them harden your resolve. Every scar you earn is a badge of honor. Life's blows are inevitable, but devastation is optional. Endure, adapt, overcome. That choice is yours. 6. Control the narrative. In the theater of life, appearance often becomes reality. People form opinions of you long before they know who you are. If you don't manage this first impression, someone else will, and usually not in a way that benefits you. As Machiavelli warned, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. So let's use that to your advantage. First impressions matter. When you enter a room, stand tall, make confident eye contact, and move with purpose. Dress with intentionality. Even in video calls, sit up straight. Your body language should silently declare, "I am in control here." If your posture and tone are already strong, people will assume you're powerful, even if you have doubts inside. Conversely, slouching or mumbling says, "Ignore me." And then guess what? They will. Be consistent. If you want to be seen as someone who stays calm under fire, then consistently show calm. Maybe inside you're scrambling a bit, but outwardly you breathe and nod. Over time, this builds your reputation as the unshakable one. If gossip or rumors swirl, say someone claims you're rash or disloyal, don't panic. You don't have to defend yourself to everyone. Often, the best response is your continued excellence. Let your actions contradict the lies. If they say you're unreliable, show up on time with quality results. Soon they'll forget the rumor and remember the truth. Speak carefully. Rambling or over-explaining when criticized just makes you look guilty or insecure. If you made a mistake, fix it quietly and move on. Apologize once if needed, but don't grovel. You correct your course and demonstrate reliability. That's much more persuasive than a dozen excuses. Remember, results speak louder than words. Share parts of yourself, but not the whole story. Mystery is a force multiplier. If people only see your highlights, the projects you quietly handle well, the challenges you overcome, they'll assume all the rest is just as polished. They will fill in the blanks in your favor. On social media or in meetings, let your achievements show themselves in work, not in boastful announcements. In tricky situations, sometimes assert your narrative with a powerful statement. For example, if someone tries to undermine you publicly, a composed response might be, "I appreciate the concern. Let's focus on solutions," then pivot to action. You just reframed yourself as a problem solver, not as someone on the back foot. At the end of the day, you are the author of your own legend. Every confident move, every disciplined choice, adds to the story you want the world to believe. Write it well. Drop in the comments, "I define my narrative." Let the world see that declaration of self-sovereignty. 7. Rituals of discipline. Nothing in the external world can give you true power unless you have it inside. And how do you build that internal power? Through relentless discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the daily hammering that forges steel strength in your character. Think of an Olympic athlete. Did they only train when inspired? No. They trained day in, day out, rain or shine, feast or famine of motivation. Why? Because discipline creates habit, and habit becomes unstoppable momentum. Once your discipline kicks in automatically, you don't debate the couch or the snooze button. You just rise, you just train, you just work. Ask yourself, what non-negotiables must you enforce? Maybe it's a morning routine, waking up early to meditate, work out, or read. Perhaps it's a learning routine, committing to study or practice every day, no matter how tired. Maybe it's a boundary, not checking your phone in the first hour, avoiding gossip at all costs, or saying no when a request would derail your goals. Define them, then protect them like your kingdom's walls. Each time you say no to an impulse and yes to your long-term plan, you condition your willpower to grow stronger. It's like lifting weights mentally. At first it's hard to resist the donut, the lazy hour, the complaining. But soon it becomes effortless. These victories, however small, maybe it's making your bed, finishing a book, or hitting the gym when it's cold, accumulate. They turn into confidence. You think, if I can do this, I can do almost anything. Machiavelli advised princes to behave consistently, even under adversity, and so must you. If life throws you a curveball, and it will, your disciplined habits become the steady riverbed. Financial discipline means a surprise expense doesn't destroy you. Physical discipline means stress doesn't obliterate your health. Mental discipline means uncertainty doesn't paralyze your decisions. This discipline spreads into every part of your life. When you make a promise to yourself, I will finish that project, or I will speak up today, or I will forgive that person, keep it. Each kept promise builds your trust in yourself. Soon, there is an unshakable faith. I say I will do something, and I do it. That kind of person commands attention and respect. Others see someone who stands by their word. Yes, discipline can be grueling. You'll have days where you want to quit, days where the old you pleads, just this once. But that is exactly when you must flex your will. Every victory of discipline is a blow to mediocrity. It's how the weak stay weak, by always choosing the easy path. You are not that person. Make discipline your new comfort. Not in the sense that it feels good immediately, but in that your identity becomes, I am disciplined. And that feels natural. Wake up each morning and ask yourself, will I live by my values today? And what would a Stoic do? Then do it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose discipline over comfort every single day. Every time you say it, let it reinforce your commitment. With discipline as your backbone, every principle here becomes easy to practice. You are writing your own code of conduct. 8. The unshakable presence. Master yourself, master everything. You've faced the truth, the war is inside you, and you've armed yourself with armor, strategy, and discipline. Now it's time to see how it all comes together. When you master these inner laws, something amazing happens. The outside world starts rearranging itself. Not magically. It's people responding to the undeniable strength in you. Look at the truly powerful people in history or in life. They aren't always the loudest or the richest. They're the calmest, the steadiest, the ones who inspire trust. Do you think King Leonidas needed to scream to command Sparta? No. His quiet courage was enough that an army would follow him into impossible odds. Do you think a seasoned CEO panics when the markets crash? No. Their composed planning reassures everyone around them. When you are the master of your inner life, you live with quiet confidence. External praise or criticism matters little because you've already validated yourself. This self-approval is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to someone who stands firmly. They sense, this person will stay strong even in a storm. I can rely on them. Leaders don't have to force respect. They earn it by not begging for it. Take full responsibility for your life. When something isn't right, either accept it if it truly can't be changed, or change what you can. No excuses, no blaming others. If you make a mistake, you fix it. If someone withholds respect, you earn it back with action. If fear looms, you face it head-on, or learn to live with it until you conquer it. In every scenario, you hold the reins, not fate or people. This mindset is the ultimate freedom. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You've become that man or woman. Sure, life will still throw its punches. You won't run from that. But nothing external will ever break you again without your permission. You approach every trial with that small smile of preparation, knowing you've endured worse in training. Your presence will become an anchor in any storm. Friends, colleagues, even strangers will instinctively look to you when things go awry. You become a pillar. This isn't arrogance. It's the natural result of living by these truths. Pause for a moment and reflect on how far you've come just by listening. You now know how to seize your thoughts, temper your emotions, use silence to your advantage, turn pain into strength, Craft your own narrative and make daily discipline an unquestionable rule. That is a tremendous arsenal. You have the tools. Now use them relentlessly. When you slip, and you will slip sometimes, don't beat yourself up. That's just another chance to strengthen. Each stumble is another chapter you'll master. The path of internal mastery is lifelong, but soon you'll recognize a moment when you think, I used to be that person who broke down at setbacks. Now, I know I am powerful from within. That moment, when you realize I am truly the master of my fate, is priceless. It will feed you to keep getting stronger. From today on, refuse to kneel to old demons of fear, insecurity, laziness, or approval. Those were never your masters. You are the master now. Carry yourself accordingly, in your stride, in your voice, in your decisions. And whenever you face a new challenge, smile inside because you've been ready for this. Where others crumble, you stand tall. Where others chase approval, you give yourself a nod. Where others see a crisis, you see a chance to prove your mastery. You've already conquered the toughest battlefield, your own mind. Everything from here on out is strategy and persistence, and you are more than capable. Remember the old proverb, the man who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers a city. You, dear friend, have conquered yourself. If this message resonates, if you feel that power rising inside you, subscribe now to continue sharpening your mind and becoming truly untouchable. We're on this path together. In the next video, we'll build even more strength into your Stoic core. Until then, keep practicing these principles every day. Stand firm, act with purpose. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you now.